Belhera swell came on the maps, and it was the biggest storm I'd ever seen, and they said it was bigger than the movie. They made the perfect storm. It's calculated madness, you know, like you got to be a little bit crazy, you got to be a little bit, maybe a little bit of a screw loose. Really got to love it. As a young kid, I got asthma, so the doctor said the best thing for me was to learn how to swim. So I learned how to swim at a young age. I just remember my dad take me down to the beach and put me on his little fiberglass wave ski, paddle me out in his lap, catching waves. You know, I learned how to surf when I was about 6 years old. Yeah, I just basically went from there with the whole surf club thing, funneling into the Molokai later down the track. Tried to go hard off the start, and always tried to make people get out of their comfort zone too early. Then they would have to question themselves whether they could keep this pace. You start to lose them in the horizon. It's mentally hard for those guys, you know. So the big waves and the paddling, number one, come hand in hand. You know, when you're paddling the Molokai and you're trying to paddle in a big wave, like the stuff that I see, like the little bumps and the positioning, like I probably see things that other people don't see, and I think that gives me an advantage. I think it really came from Jaws a few seasons ago when a couple of guys went out and paddled and were like, wow, I think we can actually really paddle into a big wave out here, you know, like the safety and everything's got a lot better, and so you're able to push your limits more, you know, like, because people feel safe with being able to pull the canisters and bring you to the surface. So, you know, just a combination, I think, of everything, you know, ego, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, you know, people like, you know, how big can we paddle? And I think, you know, we haven't really seen, you know, the answer yet, you know. I think it'll, you know, unfortunately, I think it'll take a bad situation to happen in the water for it to level out and be like, okay, like, this is the limit, you know, we can't go any bigger than this. You know, wiping out is about being calm. It's probably the two ends of the spectrum. You know, you're getting so violently, like, you know, ragdolled and pushed underwater, and just you're upside down, getting thrashed, and it feels like you're in a car crash, to be honest with you. You've got to actually just go so zen-like, I guess. I guess that's what a lot of the guys do yoga. I mean, I don't do yoga, but you know, you've really got to go into a calm state and just try and relax, because any, you know, wasted energy of trying to fight it or anything is basically you're losing your fight to, you know, to live, because you're taking the oxygen out of your body. You know, with the vests and that now, that, you know, and all the padded under thing, you know, the padded wetsuits, is that you are going to come to the surface, and even if you do pass out underwater, there'll be someone there basically to bring you back. You know, so as much as you don't want to think about that, that's the reality, is that, you know, you've got like 5 or 6 minutes to get revived if you do, you know, pass out or drown underwater. Looked at my computer, got the credit card out, and just was like, oh, well, it's now or never, you know. And so put the money down. Next day, jumped on the plane, Hawaii, Chicago, Frankfurt to Luxembourg to Paris down to Spain, all with my two 12-foot guns, and and it was a nightmare trying to get my boards into buses and taxis and get to, you know, changing airports. The swell would have been 100 foot, guaranteed that night. There would have been 100-foot waves. So we're in the water at like 5 in the morning in the dark trying to deal with our jet ski. Got out to the surf, and it was big. Waves there were travelling faster than I've ever felt any waves travel before, and I see one wave, like one huge swell out the back. See everyone start scratching for the outside. Shane Dorian is outside me at this time, and I'm sitting basically 50 yards inside of him. The wave is coming straight at me, and I just got this feeling like this thing is like heading straight at me. This is my wave. I know this is my wave. While I'm sitting there, I just swing and I just start paddling as fast as I can. My head was down. I don't even think I looked. I didn't even look back. And I just paddle. I feel the wave lift me up, and I'm in a really good spot. I feel like I'm at least 2 board lengths, 20 feet down the wave, but I can feel myself getting sucked back up. The wind is offshore enough that, by the time I get to my feet, I'm back up into the lip, and I take, I make 1, 2, 3 hops, and in the 4th hop, my board was getting more and more wind underneath the nose, and then by the 4th one, the nose comes up, jumps me off, and then fall off, go over the falls, and take one of the worst beatings of my life, and come up, and then there was a big one behind it, about 70 foot, full of white water, and basically just had to bob under and take it like a man, I guess. Dorian yelled at me and said, "You got to come over and check this out." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You got to check it out, man." And there was, I went over and jumped on the other boat and just looked at it, and I was like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, it just looked fake. It just looked one of those ones you draw in high school, the big waves. It just didn't look real, and I didn't really believe it at first. I thought they were mucking around and they'd done something to the photo or something, But when they showed me the footage, I just was like, I couldn't even believe I actually went for it, I was like, "You're an idiot." Shane told me, guys, it's the biggest wave anyone's probably ever paddled for, and for Shane Dorian to say that, it's crazy, So there definitely is probably some, mental issues with a lot of us, maybe. But the really good guys, you see, there's calculated risk involved.